These are my 4 essential PC benchmarking tools that I always use, and you should be using them too. Firstly, I really like the Heaven benchmark. It's simple and easy to use. It is specifically for your GPU, so if that's all you want to test, it's a great tool. Just pick any of the presets and run it, or you can even customize it if you want. Secondly, Cinebench is great for testing your CPU. A lot of other people also use it, so you can easily make comparisons to see that everything is running fine. If you've just gotten a new CPU, you can test it to make sure it won't give you any problems when gaming. Cinebench also has a GPU stress test, but that isn't as popular yet. I also use CrystalDiskMark to make sure my drives are working fine. This tool has a specific purpose and it fulfills it really well. You can use all the default settings and just make sure you have the right drive selected and you're good to go. My favorite tool though is OCCT because you can test just about any component in your PC. Want to see if your power supply is good enough for your CPU and GPU? Will your CPU and GPU overheat when they're both maxed out? You can use OCCT for that. It is designed as more of an overclocking tool, but really anyone can use it. It's easy to navigate. Just select a test you want to run and start it, or you can even run multiple tests at once if you really want to make the worst possible scenario for your PC. Obviously, for a gaming PC, play some games you like so you know that everything is running fine, because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be using it for most. Another great tool is MSI Afterburner. While it isn't a benchmarking software, it still gives you some pretty useful information about your machine when you're gaming. It can tell you stuff like temps, how much of your CPU or GPU is being utilized, how much RAM you're using, and much more. I really like it because you can just have it on while you're gaming and it doesn't really take any extra time to use. Honestly, I think MSI Afterburner is probably the best tool for most people, especially if you don't want to get too technical into benchmarking and just want to make sure that your PC is performing well enough. That's it in terms of what tools I use, but there is a bit more to benchmarking that you should know. Now, benchmarking isn't something that you have to do very often. I would say to only do it if you're noticing any problems like crashing or overheating, or when you've made changes to your hardware or maybe even reinstalled Windows. It's great for some quick diagnostics if your PC does turn on but there's something else wrong with it. A test every once in a while is fine too though. If your benchmarking results aren't matching perfectly with what you expect, then you shouldn't be too worried, as even if a part is the exact same model as another part, it could have some minor differences. So don't get too worried if your SSD is a couple megabytes per second off. In terms of actually running the benchmarks, they should last for about 30 minutes, and if they're fine for that period, then you shouldn't really have any issues after that. Also, make sure that your benchmark is the only thing running to ensure you're getting accurate results. But that's all there really is to it. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments and subscribe.